Hold on one sec, G. I think we're live. Let me do a systems check here. Yeah. Go ahead and share this to some groups. Very cool. All right, G, check 1 2, check 1 2. Can you hear me okay?
I got you.
All right, let me go see if I can go gallery view side by side. You look beautiful, my friend.
Oh, thank you. You looking beautiful as always.
Oh man, I appreciate that. All right, y'all. We are live here. Perry Jeffries here, your entrepreneur CFO, with special guests. You've heard from this guest before. My coach, your coach, Coach G, George Smith over Lifetime Fitness, Coach G, as we call him here. Hey, y'all, want to jump on here real quick and just give you a full update on the 60-day challenge. So for those who've been following, started the 60-day challenge back in March, on the hill of coming off of, COVID, a blood clot, a broken leg, all of the above. Decided I was gonna partner up with George here to reach my 60-day goals, and literally we took out on it and said, hey, let's just get as much done as we possibly can. Let's work hard, and we really did this to really improve our health. And with that being said, I shared some results here a couple weeks ago. Gee, I don't know if you have the results in front of you right now, but I think we went from almost 260 pounds down to about 245 pounds. We reduced our body fat from almost 28 or 29 or something along those lines down to, will we get it down to like 22 or something like that?
It was like 21.8, I think is what it was.
Yeah, down to close to like 22. And other things, reduce my blood pressure, all of that. So super, super excited about that. But we want to get on here and share some super exciting news. And exciting to me because sometimes I can be kind of corny. But I got an email here this weekend letting me know that I'm a finalist. And so you go ahead and tell it, because I'm the player here. So tell us what's going on, man. So we got some news. So tell us what's going on.
It's such big news. You've been through an unbelievable 60 days, man. Transformation aside, just all you've had to go through with your personal injuries and all that stuff, it's inspirational. And that's what 6 days about. It's about inspiration, right? When we got into this to begin with, we started talking about how can we change other people's lives? That's your MO. That's what you do. Jumped on your podcast. How do we change other people's lives? Not necessarily our own for the better, and that comes along with it, but how do we make other people better? So you went into it with the right mindset, and I'm happy to say that on Friday I got the message and was able to call you and let you know that you're one of the 20 finalists in the entire Lifetime company to get to our. Sorry about that. Lost some technical there.
Got you there.
One of the final 20. So what we need right now is people to go out, take a look at the link that's attached, and vote for Perry, read his story, and at the same time, read the story of all 20 individuals. I mean, they're from all over the United States, from Colorado, from Minnesota.
I saw Oklahoma in there.
Oklahoma's in there.
Arizona. Yeah.
Arizona. Just some inspirational stories. And then, we're blessed that we have 5 finalists here in Ohio, not just here, with you and me, but the Pickerington Club has some finalists there. I know there's some amazing trainers there. So it just speaks to Lifetime and how we do it right. But I'm super proud of you, man. That's an amazing thing to be involved in. I've been doing people with 60 days for 8 years now, and you're my second finalist ever. So,
oh man,
it's a big deal for me because it takes some insane buy-in, and some want to get it done. Yeah. So, I'm super proud of you. I'm sure Sarah was proud of you. I'm sure of it. But I guess right now, just talk about it, man. What happened? How did you get there? Tell us.
Yeah, man. So if we kind of start from the beginning here, all of us experienced the craziness of this pandemic, right? And I was subject to that and put on the infamous pandemic 20, 30, 40 extra pounds from being stuck at home and daily happy hours and eating DoorDash almost every day in the whole nine. So I was a victim of that. And then in October, I broke my leg, severely broke my leg in a roller skating accident. Those who haven't seen the images would not literally ankle hanging off to the side. They had to rebuild it with plates and screws and things of that nature to hold the leg together so it could heal. So that happened at the end of October. I was bedridden 60 days, 75 days, I think it was, non-weight bearing. And then lo and behold, while being non-weight bearing and recovering, I get COVID. So we get the COVID piece, so we deal with that. And thank goodness, I'm saying, it didn't impact me too much. But then the day after, literally out of quarantine from the COVID piece, I'm having severe pain in my back, and eventually I get rushed to the hospital. Which, when I say severe pain, I have a super high pain tolerance, as you know, G.
Yep.
And the pain was just to the point it was unbearable. I couldn't breathe and whatnot. I get rushed to the hospital, and lo and behold, I was diagnosed with a blood clot in my lung. So super scary for me, super scary for my family. I'm on a COVID floor. I'm being rushed into paramedics to a hospital. Nobody can join me. My family can't join me. I'm trying to communicate with my wife and my family while I'm drugged up, and it's just a scary, super scary time, right? So that all happened around Thanksgiving and the first week in December. We recover from that. Body is just beat up. So pumped with all kind of drugs, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't work out, just in a really, really bad way. So went on vacation at the beginning of the year and came back. I was like, hey, man, I want to do this 60 day. Actually, you reached out to me like, hey, Pete, we need to do this. We need to do this 60 days. It's a 60 day. And I said, well, shit, man, I'm in. Let's go. And man, we started off. So whatever that start date was, March 3rd or whatever it
Yeah.
was, man, and we just started running. And what was crazy about the experience, and it's funny because when I posted about this recently, somebody tried to comment and said, well, Perry, aren't you a personal trainer? Yeah, but personal trainers have personal trainers. Advisors have advisors. Coaches have coaches, right? So, I partner up with G and the crew of their Lifetime Fitness, the facility over there at Easton, and G is my trainer. And literally, we never saw each other in person over the entire 60 days. We never put eyes on each other. And it was crazy because, I had to buy in into the virtual app. We programmed it out. I would reach out to you if we need to change exercises or something wasn't working. You checked in on me to make sure I was getting my water in. We had the app where it monitored my meals so you could see if I was eating right or if I was off. So just all in all, man, it was a crazy dope experience to the point where literally all I had to do is just show up and work. Right. I didn't have to, and that's I think what the biggest thing for me, G, was, and I'll let you kind of speak to the app a little bit, but all I had to do was just show up and work. I didn't have to think about what I was doing that day, didn't have to think about what I was eating that day. Like it was all right there on my phone where
Yep.
I could go out and just knock this thing out, man. So with the systems on the phone and coaching from you and us having some pivots in there, because I don't know how many times I text you or called you like, hey man, we got to change something up, we got to pivot, and you being flexible and adapting to those pivots, man, we was able to hit some crazy goals. So kind of speak
Yeah.
to a little bit, G man, about the program.
Man, I'll be honest with you. Um, I don't know if you know this or not, but Sarah called me when you were in the hospital.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
reached out to me and she was like, hey, I need you to know what's going on. And I'm like, okay. She was, it was not a normal Sarah message. It was more of a direct Sarah message like, hey, FYI, this is what's happening. Just want you to know what's happening. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So, um, just listening to her at that point, you could tell there was some serious concern in what
Yeah.
was happening in your guys' life. So, um, I know I haven't shared that with you before, but I wanted to bring that up because
Perfect.
the partnership that she has, right, through this whole thing,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
she is always there. And I mean, multiple times during this process, she's reached out to me too and been like, hey, how we doing? Or if I need you to do something, I've reached out to her and said, hey, is he doing this? Is he BSing me? What's happening here? And, it's amazing the relationship you two have. So, uh,
Oh, thank you.
blessed to have those, you guys are an amazing couple. So, but onto the app, I mean, when we got down to it, and we
Well,
talked about,
hold on, G.
yeah,
Hold on, G.
yeah,
I got to absorb that, man, because
yeah,
this is heavy on a lot of levels. Because
yeah.
I knew she contacted people. She didn't tell me who all she contacted,
Mhm.
but she told me she is like, I contacted people who were important in our lives and the people who I thought needed to know what was going on.
Yep.
So I know she contacted some of my cast in Akron, and obviously she was the go between with the family and the whole nine. But I didn't know that she had contacted you, man. That's heavy.
I think she contacted me because she knew coming out of the hospital, you would probably contact me
Yeah,
and maybe not tell me all the details of the severity of it.
yeah,
And she wanted me to know exactly what was going on. So when you reached out, that I was prepared and that I could assist, and I knew where you were at. Um, because if you're going to meet somebody in a situation like you're in, you got to meet them where they're at, man. You got to
yeah,
understand what's going on, and you spoke to your high tolerance of pain and all that stuff, and that's all real. But um, she was concerned, and it created a level of um, awareness in how you were going. So it's good to see you back and successful again as always. But
yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's
go ahead.
crazy, G. It's crazy, G, because this all comes down to, man, is team, right?
Yep.
So yeah, we had a dope app, and we're gonna talk about the app. But what it came down to was I'm coachable. I was humble to know that I needed help. But in addition to that, and I think this is kind of where I have the unfair advantage, you know what I'm saying? You and I both do in this sense is that we have spouses who have our back
Yep.
and even have our back behind our back is what it comes down to. I don't know if I don't even know that might be worth getting a t-shirt. You know what I'm
It
saying? Get
might
you a
be.
spouse
That's a
who
new
has your
business right there.
have your back, get you a spouse who has your back behind your back. And big shout out to my wife, you know what I'm saying, who obviously was part of this entire process because we
Yep.
do everything together. But yeah, man, that's crazy for me to hear. I had to digest that for a second. So
Yeah.
I had to hard pause that.
It's
Okay,
all right, man.
no, that's good. That's good. I think because people need to know that because like with even how we tie this even to entrepreneurship, man,
Yep.
your health is not a one man or one woman game. It's a team effort, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? With your coaches, with your spouses, who you're married, who's in your circle, your network, the whole nine, man. So that
Yeah.
goes to speak to that. So that's
Yeah.
dope. All right. So keep going, man. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the app. But I had to hard pause that.
I
That's major.
understand, man. That's important stuff, right? But the app itself, um, it was just about you being a nerd, man, about you being a geek around numbers and stuff, right? I saw it and I'm like, this is easy. I get to drive him through results, and he can see himself. I don't have to do half of what I need to for him. I mean, half
Yeah,
the text or message you sent me was, man, can the app do this? Can the app do this? Can it do
yeah,
this? And 90% of the time I was like, yeah, it can do
yeah.
that. Yeah, it can
I
do
was,
that.
I was like, this
And
shit is crazy.
right. And that's really what it came down to. I mean, you and I, when we first met, we had some one-off conversations and we chatted it up, but it really came down to efficiency, right? That's
Yeah,
kind of where we connected. That's how I train. This is how you work. How can you make stuff really efficient, right?
yeah,
And our whole process through this 60-day this time was you were in this mindset of sprint
yeah,
and rest, right?
yeah,
I'm like, all right, well, we're going to sprint then. We're going to sprint for
yeah,
60 days. And
yeah,
you did that. And I mean, that's what
yeah,
got you the results. So I think what you look at with all the stuff that you put out there, because you put out a ton of content, you put out a ton of positive messaging. And sometimes it's just, it, the message gets lost in all the knowledge that you drop out there. But I mean, when you really look at what you're trying to do, your whole message all the time is how can I be efficient? How can my family be efficient? How can my exercise protocol be efficient? How can my finances be efficient? What can I do so that I don't have to be busy so that I can
yeah,
be present? Right. And,
yeah,
and I think that's what happened. You got to be present. I mean, one story you told me about one of the twins saying, Daddy, you working out right now? What's going on the app? She was even bought in to what you were
yeah,
doing. She wanted
yeah,
to know what was happening. So,
yeah.
that's powerful stuff, man, that the efficiency of the way you run your family, or Sarah runs your family, however you want to
Hmm.
look at it, you run it
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Uh, we were just able to implement this little piece to make your fitness more efficient.
That's
And
crazy. So,
that's what
so
it came
that's what
down
it,
to.
brother. That's exactly what it came down to, and I appreciate you articulating it that way. So the message from this, y'all, is the efficiency, right?
Yep.
Efficiency and everything. Because what we did is and as I kind of say this, and this is not scripted, y'all. This is just a total freestyle with me and G just having a conversation as we do. But this applies to your fitness. This applies to your business. This applies to your family, your finances. What we did is we sat down, we identified a goal. We set a time frame. We said, okay, the goal is to do this. The time frame we have to do this, we got an end date and a start date. It's from here to here, 60 days. Ready, set, go. We tracked our progress. We tracked our numbers, because if you don't measure the numbers, you can't track it. Anything that you don't measure, you cannot improve anything that you don't measure. So then we had a tracking system. Then we had accountability. Hey, bro, don't forget to drink your water. And then one of the funniest text messages I think you sent me on the app is like, hey, you send me the picture, that before picture. Say, remember, you don't want to look like this. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I said, oh, Lord, he's about the biggest asshole as I am. I love this right here. So this, I said, this is amazing. Like,
you put that out on Facebook, and I'm like, damn, Perry, I didn't expect you to blow me up like that. I showed my wife, and she's like, why'd you put that out there? I'm like, well, it was Perry. I didn't think he would put it out like that. And she's like, man, sometimes you can be an ass. I said, I know, but he wanted me to be an ass. That's what he was paying me for, was to do that. Right. But it got results. We got the final weekend, right? We're finalists. We're supposed to
be. We're national finalists. Exactly what it's coming down to, man. So it's
right.
like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But you want somebody who's going to tell you the hard truth, right? And that's why the coaching is so important. So that's why when somebody's like, well, Perry, aren't you a personal trainer? Yeah. But you know what? If I'm trying to reach a certain level, I'm trying to have extreme results, you got to have coachability. You got to have a coach, and you got to have accountability, man. So, and I appreciate that, because stuff like that just fires me up. It cracks me up, because that's just how I'm wired. And I'm like, yep, sure, don't want to look like that. Let me go here. I might need to do 2 days or 3 days, because I don't want him.
And that was the message afterwards. You're like, all right, then it's the final week, 3 days. Like, I didn't say that. Just stay with the plan. We're okay. Stay with the plan. But I mean, it was there to motivate you. And I mean, I think that's what a good coach does, right? They find a quick way to motivate people. And it's not always a big old drawn out thing. I was at a soccer game yesterday with my kids and coaching their team, and had a bunch of seniors. It was their final year, their final game. We were down. It didn't look too great. And I just looked at them, I'm like, listen, guys, here's where we're at. This is the last time a lot of you guys are going to play together. You want to go out winners or losers.
That's it.
That's it.
Simple. Just that simple.
And is it harsh? Yeah, it can be perceived as harsh. But when you build up a relationship over a season, or over a decade, or whatever it is, these guys have been coaching for 4 or 5 years. And it comes down to, they know that, the coach's approach to this is, he has our best interests at heart. And you've put in that labor to say, hey, I can have this tough conversation with you, and I can be really direct, and you're still going to respect me, and I'm still going to respect you. This isn't a disrespectful thing. I'm not calling you out. I'm just telling you, hey, it's time to get focused. It's time to be motivated for you to get the result that you've always told me you wanted. So to be able to get in there and to finish the season and come back and win and have a perfect season, it's phenomenal, right? But it really comes down to, having a relationship with your coach that's the right type of relationship, an honest relationship.
And it's crazy, because I was thinking about that today as I was kind of thinking about what was going on and different meetings I had. And I said, you know what? It always comes down to the relationship. Like, because of our relationship that we built over the past couple of years, you earned the right to be direct. And,
exactly.
and you earned that right to be direct. And I appreciate it. And because we've worked with each other over a period of time, you know how I'm wired. And because, you can't coach all your players the same way. Some players receive, different stimulus and whatnot. But you know exactly what to say to me, to be like, hey, dude, hey, it's crunch time. You know what I'm saying? We have to finish line. Let's go. It's go time, man.
Right.
So that's super fire, man. So there's so many crazy lessons, brother, just to take from this. The relationship, the team, the systems, the efficiency. Just so many relationships, so many lessons to take away from it, man. But G, as we kind of celebrate being, finalists, being in the top 20, and I guess the top 20 people, but the top 10 men, correct? I mean, the top 10 of men. So being in the top 10 men, over the entire company, countrywide, Um, what's your what would you say in as we close this thing up? Because before we got on this call, I asked you, I said, hey man, so kind of what's the end goal of having this call? And you said, hey man, to finish what we started because we haven't finished yet. You know what I'm saying? We need to. This is the finish line for us, from start to finish. But what's the one thing that you would want to share from this experience of us going through this journey together? Because we did this together, bro. So what you want to say?
Man, I think the important thing is that you just go out and read your story. Go out and actually read, what was it, 500 words that you wrote?
Yeah.
Just take 3 minutes, read the 500 words and get some perspective behind what someone went through and how they ended up coming out the other side. I mean, we can make this a big deal and applaud and celebrate and that's great, right? But this was our plan from the beginning. The plan wasn't necessarily to win. It was to get the results that we were after. And
Yeah.
that's what we got, right? We got you to where you needed to be for your next surgery. That's
Yep.
where we're at. And then, yesterday we met and like, okay, this is our next thing, right? We're getting ready for this triathlon. All right.
Yep.
Well, that's what we got to do. But
Mhm.
I think, you're a very inspirational person. And I think that's what 60 Day is about. It's about driving inspiration, getting people to go do something. If it's the gym, great. If you want to change the way you look physically, then wonderful. Give me a call. I'm here to help you out, right? You want to change yourself financially, right? You need some type of mentorship, then reach out to a mentor, reach out to a financial specialist, reach out to a CFO, whoever it is, whatever you got going on, set a timeline, set a goal,
Yep.
find someone to help you make it really damn efficient, and
Yep.
then go get results, right? Because if
There
you
it is.
don't do one of those three things, you're not going to win, right? And I don't care how you're driven, everybody wants to win at some level.
Right. Right. Brother, that's good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I said anything after that, I'll just be repeating what you said, brother.
What I want now is get out there, read his story, vote, right? Vote. Let's really share that story. Get out on social media, share it all over the place. Um, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever you got, share it. Let's talk about the success and let's change a lot of people's lives with what you accomplished in the last 60 days.
And that's what it's about. And I'll say that in closing, brother. That's why I appreciate you because I know your heart is always in the right place. And that's what we're trying to do, y'all. So yeah, I achieved, some success. But really it's all about being relevant. So if by reading my story, it can help change somebody else's life and they can take that same, context in that story and apply it to their business, their finances, their relationship with their spouse, their spirituality, whatever the case may be, then we did a good job being relevant, not just being successful. So yeah, we'll celebrate some success today, but ultimately our goal is always to be relevant. And with that being said, brother, man, I appreciate you taking some time out today to connect with your boy.
Absolutely.
And I want y'all to pay attention to one thing here. Coach G think he's slick. You see how he threw out there on the public platform that we're about to train for a triathlon. He did it stutter. So he made that public. So guess what? Now we got to go do it. But yeah, so that's our next deal now. So
Yeah, I threw it right out there. It was
yeah,
live. Can't go back now.
so yes, that is the goal now, y'all. So
I mean, you did send me a message. You said you bought some swim goggles, so I thought we were committed at that point.
We're all the way in. We're all the way in, y'all. So we are going to be training for a triathlon, not an Ironman, but we will be doing a sprint triathlon or an indoor triathlon here as soon as we can get one on the books and get it under the kind of one built a leg of the where we can run. I know I can swim, I know I can bike, but we got to start running post surgery. So that's the goal, man. So man, appreciate you joining me
No problem, man.
on
Thank you.
another journey, man. And
Absolutely.
let's keep it rocking.
Congratulations, dude. Super proud of you. And we'll keep track and hopefully we're back online here June 2nd announcing you as the national winner.
Well, you know what? But we'll take what we can get. But if
Absolutely.
we're not the national winner, let's continue to be relevant, and that's the deal. So I'm gonna echo what Coach G said. Hey, y'all, just go out and read the story. Even if you don't vote, even if you can't vote, go out and read the story, share the story, and hope it blesses somebody.
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
All right, man. See you, buddy.
Later.